Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Alice Wahome, the cabinet secretary in charge of water and sanitation, issued a rebuttal against Moses Kuria. On Sunday, while speaking in Meru, the former Gatundu North Member of Parliament said that any government official or other state department that will ratify advertising, that will place adverts in nation or any other nation group media outlets should consider himself or herself sacked. My position in this was very clear, that such a powerful message must come from a higher office. And it is very clear that must come from a higher office. And so this morning, the UDA held a position, and I saw a statement from one of their communication team saying, trying to profile journalists, when Moses Kuria intimated that he was going to provide a list of some editors that are being coerced by top management, that are being coerced to write negative stories about the state. And, my gaze was very clear. Number one, that list was never coming. But number two, that list was just to try to push the narrative that there are people in our nation that are sympathetic to Azimio. Of course, it is the media also people, and they are individuals, some people that also have their political positions. It's world over. Even if it's international, even international media will always realize there is some alignment. And those people, most of us who follow American elections, you will see how it is reported, and you just know this is so. It's something that is there. But I do feel like it is very hypocritical for someone to attack journalists in understanding that they're the problem. There's nothing that can get out there without approval from the higher office. Now today, the 20th of June, Alice Wahome has issued a rebuttal and has given Nation Media Group advert 1.2 million. This is what is being reported. Water and Sanitation Cabinet Secretary Alice Wahome was among senior government officials who defied calls by Trade Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria to avoid placing advertisements in Daily Nation newspaper beginning Tuesday 20th. A total of 12 government departments and agencies placed their adverts in the latest edition of the newspaper. The most outstanding one were placed by Minister of Education, headed by Ezekiel Machogu, and his water counterpart Alice Wahome. That is through the Water Services Regulatory Board. They placed two colored full-page adverts costing 623,000 each, which is now getting to the tune of 1.2 million. So this has come. The first two cabinet members, the one from Alice Wahome, they have defied that call by Moses Kuria to not to place ads there. And I told you that that has been approved from the government, Director of Government Advertising. Now, any Kenyan who always took serious those threats that they were going to withdraw adverts from Nation was just short-sighted. I think this can't have come from somewhere, and some of these decisions, it's not very easy for someone to make an opinion become a policy. That's number one. And government advertising is anchored in law. There is a law that governs it, and that's why we have a specific directorate dealing with it. So what's your political interpretation of that Alice Wahome move, ministry and Ezekiel Machogu placing adverts, even though Moses Kuria issued that statement? I said yesterday, it was never about, it's not something to be actualized, but it is a strategy to manage the information to suppress the information about the edible oil scandal. The edible oil scandal is the giant in the house. And that is why I can say it was never about them, but it was a threat that was shown to tell someone that the way you continue, we might consider withdrawing those adverts. You ask the truthful man, I don't think he's still and he has never been truthful anyway. Rigathi Gachagua said that they're not party to what Moses Kuria said. And of course, this is also a move because it's receiving a bit of backlash. So I want to interpret that information, that rebuttal on what exactly is going on in full details. Thank you very much. As before we get into that, I still want to request you that we are having a children's home visit on 26th of that is 26th of June, this month on Sunday, and we are calling for you support in terms of food, dry food, clothing, and those who can also give monetary support, but to stay towards what, so that we make that a success. I'm going to give full details on how you can drop your donation to us under the Bull Charity Network. Ladies and gentlemen, the deal making is the agent pollinating. It's not the agent pollinating, but the deal making process in Kenya Kwanza is going to be the agent of division. Now, what we'll expect, that move, it seems he has defied what Moses Kuria said. And there is one thing that, let me tell you, mostly the issue going with the edible oil deal, and I followed it because that was the bone of contention here, is something that has brought, it brings different government agencies, the Kenya National Trade Corporation, the executive, because it started from the cabinet meeting, then the respective two ministries, that of Mithika Linturi, which is agriculture, and then Moses Kuria. So those three ministries, and even PS in the Ministry of Agriculture also had reacted to Moses Kuria saying that they need to be logged out. They need the government needs to stop analyzing with nation. It was because of that story. But clearly, the deals are not binding all. That is the truth. That not all leaders are part of the deals that are being done. So, for example, ministries like that of water, what does it have to do with the deal? And if clearly they are not part of that deliberation, they cannot listen to what Moses Kuria is saying. Now, remember, Alice Wahome also is one of the cabinet secretaries that also suffered a very interesting fate. Sometime there was a budget, some dam budget that was supposed to go to Mount Kenya, that was rerouted to Ukambani on some political grounds. It was done through the PS without the knowledge of Alice Wahome. So the few that what's also happening here is there is no bit of that synergy. The truth of the matter here, if you ask me, is Moses Kuria spoke with powerful voice, information that was clearly saying what the president and his team are saying. But then that was something to be taken by different ministries. Now, what happens here is when that information comes out in public, of course, you never know for state departments and other departments, you never know what can happen. Was Moses Kuria sent, or is it? People seems to be very cagey, and even though they can't implement it, but they go slow. But this is a clear indication that Alice Wahome is simply saying, I am not part of your deals, and I'm not going to be accessory to media attacks, in the media attacks, because I'm not part of the deal. Number two, William Ruto is also clearly, this message is coming out and it was highly shared. This move is a clear signal that even William Ruto is making a U-turn, because everyone else understand that the root cause of that is a story. And why attack the media? You can profile and say what you think about their position or whether they support you or not. They support you or not. But then Kenyans also see that as an attack on media, because someone would want to imagine that nation is to close today because of this. What will that mean? Clearly, someone will tell you that it will be a downfall engineered by the state. And if that is to happen, how many people are going to lose jobs? So this information is high. And again, as much as we talk about this Aga Khan and you type all sort of words and printable words against the person, but again, these are also people that have access to the high table in proximity to the executive. It is something that we must see. Lastly, I see cabinet supremacy playing out. And someone just, in terms of, if, and for example, this move by Alice Wahome and Ezekiel Machogu will actually show this. If the government want us not to advertise with the nation because of that, should that information come from Moses Kuria? Who is Moses Kuria to advertise, to advise, rather to restrain government ministries from advertising? Let me tell you, the Directorate of Government Advertising Agency is domiciled under the Ministry of ICT. That's one thing that many of us probably were confusing. It is in the Ministry of ICT, not in the Ministry of Trade. It's not. So clearly there is no way he comes in. And if it is about sacking people, that's the responsibility of the public service, public commission. So I don't know what you take. Why do you think Alice Wahome has made that move? I want to also read your feedback and see what you think. But then that is my take. As I finish, we are having a children's home visit, a very special Thanksgiving visit in Nemaland. It's on the other side of the Garret, in the other side of Nairobi, and we're calling for our supporters under the Bold Charity Network to help us impact the lives of children there. So we are targeting food stuff, the dry food, and some clothing, and also donations. For those who are in diaspora, you can also contribute, and it will go towards the purchase of the food stuff we're going to take there. In the spirit of supporting others, we are working with a team under the Bold Charity Network. Yes, it's good. You cannot do this thing alone. It's also good to give opportunity to others. So I have a team I'm working with. I've shared the number there. Kawira De Costa is our coordinator and admin in the Bold Charity Network. So if you're within CBD and you want to donate unga, rice, sugar, anything, you can reach out to Kawira. If you're on the other side of Ngong Road, you can also reach out to Brenda. And again, for diaspora, I'm also sharing your number. You can also reach out to me and we impact a living. We're planning to do a 50 book challenge on Friday and Saturday. Yes, probably toward the support of this, but for now, we are targeting more on the food stuff and the clothing that we're going to collect. Thank you.